So let's get started with daily dose number 3. And I posed a question in a short to get people to come here. Was your feed full of Epstein, Bad Bunny, rock country, and you really just wondered what the hell was going on? What the hell are they distracting us from? I think I'm getting an idea of what we're being distracted from. I found 2 articles, and it's like, are they heading towards World War III? And this is just stupid. So I found 2 headlines that kind of back me up on this. And maybe it's conspiratorial. I don't know. But honestly, get yourself something to drink. I'm going with coffee. let's dive into these, I think. Oh man. So I found this one, and it's out of Zero Hedge. It's at least 112 USAF C-17 aircraft headed to the Middle East. Desert storm levels. It says prior to these weekend comments, the Iranian top diplomat stated, if the United States launches an attack against us, we do not have the capability to attack its territory. So we would target American bases in the region. This would draw the entire region into war. We do not attack neighboring countries. We target American bases. So basically what they're saying is they see a buildup. And 112 C-17 planes, that's an awful lot. And they go down and break down to what they can hold cargo-wise. But 112 C-17s, man, they can haul a lot of troops, a lot of military supplies. I'm no expert on that stuff, but that's a big plane that can move a lot of big stuff, and they have in the air fuel capabilities where they can be fueled while they're flying, so they can reach a long ways. It says an eye-opening and massive number of C-17 Globemaster military transport and cargo planes have been observed heading to Europe and the Middle East, in what some monitors have forewarned looks like a build-up to major war in Iran. That's what I just said. It looks like a really, really big build-up. Like, we're going to do something, and the next one really, I think, really drives it home. Now, I'm doing them in this order because I think this is the order they came out. It says one regional watcher and pundit commented in response to the 112 C-17s are in or on their way to the Middle East. Guys, that's a lot, like Desert Storm a lot. Stay tuned. And that was his comment. Okay, so you start thinking about that, and it's like, that is a lot. I mean, like I said, that's a lot of military personnel. That's a lot of military equipment that can be moved. And I mean, and 112, maybe, I don't know, maybe they're definitely either putting off a strong stance, or we're building up to get ready. And I mean, I can't help but think that if we was to strike against Iran, it's gonna draw other people in, and it's gonna be a global conflict. I mean, Russia backs Iran, and I think we should really be paying attention to what's happening. This, as on Friday, the prominent open source account Armchair Admiral and others used public flight tracking data to tally the huge armada of U.S. Air Force C-17s and counting are en route, a trend since mid-January. Okay, so it's been going on since mid-January, but that don't, necessarily say that, we're not building up. A total of 112. Okay, since January. Now we're just in the beginnings of February. So a total of 112 U.S. Air Force C-17s have now either arrived or are en route to the Middle East, with a further 17 or 18 in progress flights. A number of Royal Air Force logistic flights from RAF Marham to RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus, and movement on U.S. Air Force cornets, the source said. The C-17s are massive and can deliver huge amounts of equipment or large numbers of troops in a single go. The U.S. military lists some of the following key capabilities. They have a payload capacity of 170,000 pounds. They have an ability to operate on short runways, as short or as small, I guess, as 3,500 feet. Their intercontinental range with in-flight refueling, extending their reach even further. I've already said that. Rapid load and unload design to keep missions moving under pressure. Iran and the U.S. just concluded an initial round of indirect talks mediated by Oman. But despite some hopeful statements issued by either side, it is very clear Iran is not willing to negotiate its ballistic missile program. A sticking point being demanded by Washington. A second round is expected in the coming days unless military action ensues first, which I think, I don't know. I don't want Iran to have nukes. But I don't think we should go around giving everybody a black eye either. So, because I mean, this black eye could, result in a bloody nose, and then us punching back to black another eye. I just feel like we're building up because we know talks are going to break down. Iran's foreign minister has newly questioned whether Washington is taking these talks seriously or if they are merely a pretext for more time to allow for a U.S. buildup in the region. And that's what it looks like. And then on X, you can see here. People's talking about it, and they're putting up the flight patterns and flight tracking. But even then, I mean, okay, Iran is like the number one terrorist harboring network, bed, whatever you want to call them. I really think they ought to come to the table and take us seriously, because in all actuality, I mean, a lot of the terrorist cells come from Iran. I mean, they're bred there, and Iran chants death to America. So no, I really, really think they really don't need ICBMs. They don't need nukes, because I mean, let's face it, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to use them. I mean, they're going to come after us, and then what? So I mean, and they're already saying, if they strike us, we're going to strike their bases all around here. We're not going to directly strike the country, but we're going to strike their bases. No, what you'll do is you'll hammer Israel more than likely, or one of our other allies in the neighborhood. So, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi asserted Tehran is not intimidated, but that this raises doubts about other party seriousness and readiness to engage in genuine negotiations, he added. We are closely monitoring the situation and assessing all signals, and will decide whether to continue the negotiations. Prior to these weekend comments, the Iranian top diplomat stated, if the United States launches an attack against us, we do not have the capability to attack its territory, so we would target American bases in the region, and this would draw the entire region into war. We do not attack neighboring countries. We target American bases. Again, right now they don't have the capability to reach us. Let's keep it that way, because obviously they would. They're saying, okay, We can't do it, so we'll just shoot the shit out of your buddy over here and say that we're attacking your bases, but we're just going to shoot the shit out of them. So, I mean, in a way, we need to show a force, and I understand why they're building up, but I do believe they're building up, and I truly believe it actually could lead to World War III. I mean, this is where, allies protect allies, it's, which I really think we're building up and getting ready to strike. I really think we're getting ready to strike, and I'll find the headline here in just a second because I found it right after reading that one, and it kind of solidifies what I'm thinking big time. There it is. All right. I mean, I'm telling you, it solidifies exactly what I've been saying. Like, we're building up, we're getting ready for it. Like, we're getting ready to pound someone's ass here in a minute or show force tactical strikes at the heart of things to put them back at the negotiating table where we are, in a stance of strength and they're in the weakest point. But anyways, before we get started with that, if y'all enjoy my content and you enjoy these daily doses and the shorts my wife and I make, I'm going to leave a link in the description where you can support us directly, or you can slide over to our sponsor, Dubby. You can try one of their 15 flavors with over 20,000 5-star reviews. Excuse me. Just put in Matt's opinion as a coupon code and it'll save you 10%. And they'll support us for you supporting them. So let's get back, shall we? It says, Eye on Iran. Pentagon held live fire war drills in the Persian Gulf. Right? So the last one, basically, we have C-17s building up in the Middle East. We're building a presence. We are building a presence over there, getting ready to show force. And then you have that one right there. Pentagon held live fire war drills in the Persian Gulf. It's unclear why the U.S. military only chose to reveal it Sunday and not in real time while the drills were actually being conducted. U.S. forces conducted a live fire military drills in the Persian Gulf at a moment of ongoing Washington threats to attack Iran over its nuclear program as well as ballistic missile arsenal. So see, basically negotiations broke down. We're building up, and then we just showed them some force with live fire drills. We're building up. We're building up while everybody's fighting over Epstein, while everybody's fighting over Bad Bunny halftime shitty shows, and who's going to be at the Rock the World or Rock the Country concert. This is what's going on. This is what's going on while no one's paying attention. Oh, ICE is backing out of Minnesota or whatever, lowering their presence. You know what? ICE needs to keep doing what they're doing, but we need to be told a little more about this stuff. It doesn't matter. They're trying to distract you. Always trying to distract you with something. And they don't want people to see that, Iran is basically being bullheaded and not wanting to back down in negotiations. They're still chasing after nuclear arsenal and wanting ICBMs and in my opinion, if Iran had nuclear capability, the first thing they would do is they would attack Israel with. So then when they hit the launch, guess what? We're going to hit launch. Guess what? Russia's going to hit launch. Everybody's just going to hit launch, and there's not going to be a country, a world. There's not going to be shit left. All because these absolute extremist terrorist cells that are born and bred in Iran want nuclear capability. Even the smallest of tactical nukes, they would use them. And if you ask me, I already think they have the ability to enrich uranium and stuff. I really do. I don't think we hurt them with our strikes. So last week, Navy sailors from the USS Santa Barbara participated in Exercise Killer Tomato, What a name. A live fire maritime gunnery exercise is conducted in the Central Command's area of responsibility and supported by an Air Force A-10 Thunderbolt II aircraft. U.S. Central Command posted on X Sunday. Well, of course, they're not going to put it out in live time because they don't want everybody to know we're out there flying around, conducting this shit, or they'll fly up there and then accidents happen. You know what I mean? It continued. The exercise provided realistic training to improve surface gunnery proficiency while reinforcing joint air maritime integration, combat readiness, and deterrence across the region. There you go. Maybe it's like trying to deter. They're trying to show, like I said, they're showing force, trying to get Iran back to the table and to basically cry uncle. And Iran's like, we're not doing it. We'll go to war first. It's unclear why the U.S. military only chose to reveal it Sunday and not in real time while the drills were actually being conducted. This was perhaps a security measure to ensure no incidents or run-ins with the Iranian forces after previously an Iran drone was shot down as it was said to be headed towards a U.S. warship. Okay, so that makes sense. It's like I said, they didn't want people flying around there and then accidents happening. So I guess, whatever. As for the use of the A-10 Thunderbolt, this long in-service aircraft would assist in thwarting any small vessel threats or attack against American ships, as it is able to fly very low and take out aircraft with its powerful machine guns. It conducted low strafing runs as part of the latest Persian Gulf drills. Oh yeah, and they're practicing to take out like a counter move. I'm telling you, they're practicing. They're practicing to carry out a mission, fly over there and hit strategic spots, which I really think could lead to more. Like it could lead to a bigger war, a broader war. Which, like I said, you got to start looking at like Russia, and just Russia getting involved would be a scary situation for us, anyways. Then you got North Korea. That crazy little bastard over there, he's looking for any excuse. I mean, he would hammer South Korea. I mean, it would just go on and on and on. So we'd have to be very strategic about what we do, or World War III will ensue. I'm fairly certain of that. The futuristic looking vessel featured in the U.S. Navy's photos is the USS Santa Barbara, described by a defense journal as follows. This thing does look crazy as hell. The vessel is one of the U.S. Navy's high-speed modular Independence-class littoral combat ships designed for operations in contested coastal waters. USS Santa Barbara is capable of speeds exceeding 40 knots and has a range of around 4,300 nautical miles at cruising speed, allowing it to conduct extended patrols and rapid response missions across the region. It displaces more than 3,100 tons at full load and is powered by a combined diesel and gas turbine propulsion system driving 4 water jets. It carries a core crew of 40 personnel with capacity for additional mission specialists depending on the role it is assigned. And then Central Command photos sent from the war drills. Man, that thing, if it's on X, that thing is wicked looking. That A-10 Warthog, man, that thing's tough. They definitely don't want to get into a battle with that. I'm telling you that. Yeah, that chubby can only get so big when that sucker starts spraying. Since late January, American and Iranian forces have been holding dueling drills and war games in the region in an effort to signal military readiness amid tense showdowns. So we're basically both out here trying to play my dick's bigger than yours, and Iran just doesn't understand that our dick's bigger than theirs, and they got to call in their buddy to help them. Which, like I said, this is only going to lead to something bigger. Somebody's going to hit the button, and But, I mean, do I agree with our stance? Yes. I don't think Iran, the terrorist organization, terrorist country, whatever you want to call it, terrorist breeding ground, needs nukes or ballistic missiles really at all. They need to just calm down, you know. Ultimately, it is Israel that is most alarmed by Iran's missile program, given Tel Aviv was on the direct receiving end during the June war. Also said to involve hypersonic missiles sent. Oh yes, and here we go. Everybody's gonna say, "Well, you're an Israel first guy." No, actually, I'm not. I'm just a let's not let somebody that would strike Israel and strike us have the shit to strike us with. I mean, that's kind of ignorant. I mean, Israel doesn't need to be hit with a nuke. I mean, one big nuke would wipe them off the map pretty much, and Iran would do it just because they're terrorists. And like if they had ICBMs with nuclear capabilities, they'd hammer us with the shit too. You'll think for a second they wouldn't. They're terrorists. They're not. I mean, they'll shoot their own protesters. What makes you think they wouldn't hammer the U.S. with an ICBM with a nuclear warhead on the end of it? You know what I mean? They're literal. They do not care about. They just want domination. Period. The end. They want to get into a bloody showdown with missiles, and I think we're building up to either strike and then invade, or we're building up to protect these bases of ours around the countries. I don't know. I just think it's leading up and could inevitably bring us to the brink of World War III. I mean, it's. I think a lot of this is what we were being distracted from and are being distracted from is exactly what's going on. This is the stuff people should be worried about. We should be worried about this stuff. We should be thinking about, like, should I go ahead and, grab like 6 months worth of, storable food and be ready to be ready to, don the masks and get ready for, nuclear fallout. Because I mean, it really could go to that. CENTCOM has recently said that while Iran's military has a right to operate professionally in international waters, it must avoid any provocative and harassing behavior involving American vessels and forces. The two enemy sides are one small live fire incident away from potentially sparking a major conflict. That's what that's what I keep saying. They're out here. Both sides. We're doing these live fire drills. They're doing live fire drills. No one's telling anybody about it. And somebody is eventually going to run across each other and some shit's going to go down and we're going to end up in a war. And I really feel like it could actually, I mean, yes, we've struck Iran before, but, I really think we're going to show up or strike them, and I think it's going to be soon. I don't know when. I can't give you a date, but I think it's going to be soon. I think if talks and negotiations keep breaking down, we are going to hammer them with something and say, all right, now come back to the table and quit your shit. And to be honest, I don't know if they're going to come to the table. I think if they're already breaking down in negotiations and Iran's saying basically pound salt in your ass, maybe a strike is needed. But what would that strike look like and what would it lead to? That's my only concern. I mean, it could look bad. It could get Russia involved. We could strike them and they could say we're absolutely not coming back to the table, and they could strike our bases in other countries, just like they said. They can't reach the US, so the only thing they can do is strike our bases in the region, which that's going to drag other countries in. And when you start striking other countries to hit our bases, that's what it drags this country into it. So now they're going to strike Israel back, and then it's just a mess. So, whatever we do, we need to be precise. And the people here in the U.S. need to be ready. Be prepared, be vigilant, and keep an eye on this. To me, this is the important stuff. Not bad halftime shows. The Epstein files are important, but they're not as important as the possibility of thermonuclear war. And that's my opinion. Anyways, if you enjoy this content, I'll leave a link in the description below for direct support. Slide over to Dubby. Get yourself some Dubby energy. Tune in tomorrow for the next one. And there you have it. For Matt's opinion, I'm out.